This is not the hangout you're looking for. Actually, it is. Hi, welcome to Social Media Hangout. My name is Andrew Harasowicz, and we have two special guests today, Mia Voss and Christine DeGraff of the Christine and Mia Show.
Wait a second. There you go.
We do live applause here. None of this canned stuff.
They have a wonderful show on this little-known platform called Google Plus. I don't know if you guys had ever heard of it. Apparently, I've been killing it, but that could be good or bad. We don't know yet. But just to get started today, we wanted to touch in on a study that Mark Chaphagen was doing about the post ads. And you released that on Friday. Is that right, Mark?
Yeah, it wasn't Stone Temple Consulting conducted a study we got as soon as the post ads came out about 2 weeks ago. We started running some test ads of various kinds, and folks can show. I'll put it up in the event later. The link to our blog post about the results. But it was fun. It was interesting. Like a lot of other people observed, the biggest thing we saw from it is that at least at this point, they get an unusual CTR, click-through rate, for a display ad. Since they show up as a regular display ad first, you don't actually see that it's a Google Plus post. It looks pretty much like any other display ad, but it has that hover to expand button, big blue button on it that seems to catch people's eye, and they want to try it out. So it gets typically display ads on the Google network these days get 0.5% or less click-through rate. That varies, but that's pretty average. And we're seeing anywhere from 2 to 4% on the ads we ran. The one ad, the most successful one we had, the one that was over 4%, had one day that it had a 10% CTR on it. However, not able to really find anything else that we can track coming from them. Definitely people looking at them, opening them, not seeing from our tests any discernible engagement with the posts, like nobody actually going in, which you can do if you happen to have a Google Plus account and you happen to be logged into it. When you open the ad, you could +1 it, you can comment on it, you can share it. Haven't been able to discern that anybody's done that with our ads. And the one ad that was going for a strong call to action for people to go to a landing page on our site, again, didn't seem to produce any discernible activity on that. So those are the overall conclusions. Saying again, this is very early. We've only been running it for 2 weeks. We'd like to try some other times. I haven't tried videos yet, which maybe Eric can speak to. That Christian Ashlock, our guest from Google, the product marketing manager for for the Plus post ads, who we had on our Digital Marketing Excellence show on Thursday, seem to indicate that with the beta test brands, that putting videos, and these especially brief videos with a call to action, seem to get the best results for the brands. Eric, do you want to add anything from the show that we did with Christian?
Sure. I think one of the things that we should note, first of all, is click-through rate here. If I'm not mistaken, is defined as the person hovering over the thing that says hover to expand, and then the window popping up as a light box, and that's effectively a click-through because that's what you're paying for at this point, right? Isn't that right, Mark?
That's correct. You don't get charged. They still call it a click because they can either click on it to expand it, or they can hover over it, and they have to hover for at least 2 seconds. That's to avoid accidental, somebody just sweeping their mouse across the screen. They have to hover for 2 seconds. But if it opens up to the full Google Plus post, which opens in what we call a light box, it's kind of an overlay over the site that they're seeing the ad on, then it's called a click and is charged as a click. And click-through rate, for people that aren't familiar with the term or with online advertising, is basically the number of clicks divided by the total impressions that you get. So impressions are people actually seeing the ad, it appearing on a page that they're looking at. Doesn't mean their eyeballs went to the ad, but it's on the page. That's an impression. And then you take the percentage of times that was clicked, or in this case, actually opened up to the full Google Plus post. So again, as I said, typically for banner ads these days, it's pretty low because most people don't click on a banner ad, so it's 0.5% or lower. but these are getting, typical for us and for other people that I've talked to that have been running them, averaging like 2 to 4% click-through rate, which is significantly higher.
Yes, this is the reason why I wanted to note that, though, is because it has this little hover to expand button there, which might be a lot of curiosity seekers hovering over it. So I don't think we yet really know how a practical click-through rate, so to speak, will vary from other display ads. But the other things that I think that are worth noting from the show, and we did have a product marketing manager from Google Plus team on the DME show on Thursday, is that the way Christian presented it was that the target for these ads is non-Google Plus users, right? So they're not actually expecting engagement with the post, and that the main action you should be hoping for is you've gotten exposure to your content that would cause somebody to click through to the content itself, and that Google Plus is acting as an engine to enable this capability, and that's the way they're viewing it. And given that that's the case, this relates to what you were saying, Mark, it puts a real premium on how do you optimize your Plus Post ad so that you are more likely to entice that click-through. So what they found with some of their major brand tests, that it worked really well if you had a video, an enticing video of some sort. But there's got to be some sort of hook in however you put this together and entice that click-through, and that's going to be key to get a good value out of this advertising campaign. And I think it has some different wrinkles from other kinds of advertising out there. So it'll be really interesting to see who does a good job with this. Oh, and one other thing I want to mention, Mark, too, is you saw in your testing that, I mean, we didn't have a huge sample size. We had 2 ads, basically. One that was more of a long-form post, and another one was a short form, a shorter amount of text in it. And the shorter one was the one that got the higher click-through rate.
Yeah, and also it might have been, again, click-through is going to happen before people even see the post. So
right.
I think in that case it was more likely that it was just better targeted. We did our Dwayne Forrester interview. Dwayne Forrester, who's kind of the Matt Cutts of Bing, and we had a great, Eric had a great interview with him about a month ago. The title was just great because we targeted it at SEO, search engine optimization, both sites and keywords, and the title was just simply it was like 5. Was it? Do you remember, Eric? I've forgotten. The 5 what something of SEO.
Well, I'll look it up. While you're stammering away, I'll look it up. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, but it had a great the image, because the banner ads do show the main image from the post. Was, I think, an interesting image that was relevant. So
5 keys to SEO success.
5 keys to SEO success. Thank you. I think it was just a great title for attracting people. And even though both of them were targeted SEO, both of the text ads that we ran were targeted at SEOs, the same kind of sites. This one, the first one, had an image that was maybe great for Google Plus, but maybe not so great for an ad. And that was your post that had the Pegasus, not a unicorn, but the Pegasus picture in it, which is a eye-catching picture, but probably didn't relate as well. I'm just guessing to the audience. Ben, you have a comment?
Once I could unmute myself, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, the study that Mark, you and Eric for Stone Temple Consulting did, I think was really great, and I saw a lot of it as well. I mean, as soon as the ads came out, I ran actually a split test of the same exact post one I had on the Steady Demand Spreading page, and then I had the share of that one on my personal page. I also saw very much higher increased click-through rates than any other display advertising. My observation was mainly that the 300 by 250 probably outperformed all of the sizes. I think that the 720, the way the layout is for the 728 by 90 is very ugly at this time. Eric, I definitely agree that I think it's more curiosity seekers at this point. They're hovering over. But one of the things that I did find interesting is that the ad that I was running on my personal brand, on my personal page, I had a unique tracking string basically for each one of those, and that I had used before actually. So a unique campaign tracking string for Google Analytics. And I found that the clicks that I was getting from my personal profile were actually better than what I was getting from the brand profile. And what I mean by that is that the time spent on site and actually the number of page views that I was getting from that was actually better. So, and I had them both running at the same kind of targeting and everything. So, yeah, but anyway, it's just, I think it's kind of interesting just the fact that at least in that test, that the personal page was actually doing really well.
So I've actually popped up here a screen share of a Plus Post ad with the Lightbox open. So the thing that you see in the middle here is the open Plus Post ad, and you can actually see over to the right, it looks a little grayed out on the screenshot, a smaller version, which is a typical display ad, and that little blue button you see there, and I'm sorry it's small, actually says hover to expand, and so someone's hovered over this. And this is a campaign that was run by Toyota, and you can see it looks like a regular Google Plus post in a free-floating window, and that's what the experience is like for users.
And Chris was saying in the chat, actually, the ideal image size is 300 by 140. That's a 16:9 ratio, just to note. But something. So Eric, you were saying, so basically the post ads, they're more for showing that you already have engagement on your content rather than actually getting you engagement, kind of like a social signal to people that, like, this is okay to look at, you know?
Yeah, I don't know that I would have put it that way. I think it's more that keeping in mind that the target audience for this is non-Google Plus users. You shouldn't expect those people to go engage with the Lightbox and enter in a comment or +1 it or share it, even though it's sitting there with those capabilities on it. This is exactly the way Christian Ashlock described it. Mark, correct me if I've got that wrong, but the main thing that you should be looking for is that they're going to click on the link and actually go see the post itself.
It's a way of it's kind of a more attractive and unique way of drawing people to your content. And I'm eager to try a video post because he said that's what the big brands got the most action from.
And Mia has a question.
I'm like, ooh. So for those of us who haven't done the ads yet, Ben and Mark and Eric, how easy was it to set it up? How was the dashboard? How was the setup for it?
Well, have you done AdWords before?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then it's going to be familiar. Have you done the display ad network?
No.
Okay, that's a little bit different than if you've run regular text ads, but at least you're familiar with how AdWords works, and that's a big plus, if I can use that.
Okay.
We made this point on the show the other day that it's a lot of people on Google Plus are going to want to run out and try these, and if they've never done AdWords before, they're going to run into a learning curve they haven't gone through yet, because there's a lot to managing AdWords properly and not wasting your money. But if you're familiar with it, they're pretty easy to set up. On Display Ad Network, you get when you go to Display Ad Network, there are different types of display ads, and you're going to select engagement ads, what they call it within AdWords itself. And then you simply put in the page or profile that you want to advertise from. It brings up the most recent posts that are eligible, that have the right format to be. You select the one that you want, select the size formats you want it to show up in, do your targeting. You can target different ways. You can target by type of topic of sites that you want to target at. You can do by keywords. You can go by actual placement sites. You can actually choose sites that are on the network that you want it to show on. So there's other ways too.
I like how you look like a moving GIF, by the way.
I look like a what?
A moving GIF. The trees in the background are just making you pop.
Do the Dustin.
I know.
He doesn't have to do anything. It's natural.
Yeah, I have trees that some people have people that do things for them. I have trees that do that for me.
You're getting tree photobombed.
Yeah, talk to my tree.
I will. There's something I'd like to add to what Mark was saying. Is that it is actually it is fairly straightforward to set up and do. There are a couple quick tips that I can just share with everybody really quickly, and that is there's a couple rules to basically qualifying, and also there's some things that you need to kind of be cognizant of to actually make it run successfully. First one we all know mostly, but I'll reiterate a couple things. Like you have to have 1,000 followers. It can be a personal page or it can be a business page. Eric, I think you confirmed that actually on the DME show, is that it's totally fine to use a personal page.
So Ben, real quick, so the 1,000 applies to both, correct?
Correct.
Yes, that's right. It was actually just a mistake in the way they put the description together. That's kind of what he said, wasn't it, Mark? They just kind of made a mistake in how they did it, but.
Yeah, they said, well,
interesting.
not so much, not a mistake. They said what they said was that it was always intended to be open to everybody, but they haven't emphasized the profiles because they want, they want a targeted brand. They think it's going to be most useful for brand pages.
Well, you're right. He did say, "Oh, you got the pollen thing going on again."
Yeah, again, I thought it was done.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So that's right. You reminded me of that because what he was really getting at was if you as an individual would have similar goals to what a brand might, then it would fit for you. So, I mean, if you essentially were like a solopreneur or something like that, or had similar business objectives, you could use it in the same way.
And also the reason...
I've tried this out, and my personal profile has just a few over 1,000, and my business page now has over 1,000 too, and it still wasn't letting me do it. So maybe it was just a glitch in the matrix.
Yeah, it may take some time before it gets cycled through. I know Jeff C. in the comments I just saw was saying that he was not able to do it from his personal profile. I didn't look to see how many followers he has, but he said that he gets an error message when he tries to do it from his personal profile.
Yeah, there's actually a couple other things that, just quick tips. For instance, you actually have to have your followers in your Google Plus settings set to public. So if you're hiding the number of people that are following you, then you won't be able to display ads. There's another thing that you also have to have turned on too, and that's shared endorsements. So when that came out, a lot of people kind of panicked and said, privacy, privacy, and turned off shared endorsements. So if you don't have your shared endorsements turned on, then you won't be able to play, basically. Right now, you currently don't need to link your any account to AdWords. This is actually really important to understand, and what I've been suggesting to brands that do want to play in the display network but don't have 1,000 followers yet is that, let's say, Dustin, before you wanted to advertise Dustin TV, or Mia, let's say you wanted to do the Mia Connect and you only had 500 followers, but you really, really, really wanted to promote something. Well, then you could come to me and say, hey, Ben, you've got more than 1,000 followers. How about I just give you some money and you can promote these posts for me? And I can do that. I can do that from my account. I can promote anybody who basically meets the criteria. So that's the other kind of neat thing about it right now, and I think that's actually a good opportunity for people who
I can too. I can promote anyone who needs promoting. Hi.
So, yeah, I was going to, actually, you interrupted.
Yeah, I'll throw my hat in.
I was going to say, hey, Ben, how about if we all give you a little money? Is that okay?
Bring it on.
We all want Ben to pimp us out.
What's the hashtag, Mia?
Hashtag like a boss, that's mine.
Get paid to be awesome, right?
Get paid to be awesome is absolutely right.
So Jeff C. Actually has over 4,500 followers, so he should be able to do it. But he may be running into one of the problems you brought up, Ben. So that might be what's going on there.
Yeah, those are really good tips. I'm going to actually add those to our test post about there, and I will link and credit to you. Although I'm not sending you any money, Ben. Sorry.
Just another one.
You don't have to send me any money, Mark. It's right on the blog post that we have on stage, man.
If you're just starting out, also don't pump your entire potential budget all at once. Don't start spending everything. Put in a little trickle budget for a wider period of time. See when you get the cheapest clicks, and then focus on those times, on those 3 to 4 p.m. or just Test, and then put in the big money once you know what works.
I think that's the best piece of advice for anybody. You just have to test and see, and spend some time, invest some time figuring out what works best, because you're not going to hit it right off the bat.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning when I said that, it's not, AdWords is not for the faint of heart, because not only is it targeting, but all the to manage a budget properly and be able to know how to optimize is a skill that takes a while to develop. So if people want to try them out but have never used AdWords before, they might want to try to find somebody, like send Ben money, for example. Find somebody that has some experience with the platform to be able to help them manage that.
Is this the send Ben
So
money?
wait. I gotta make something real clear here. I do not manage AdWords accounts.
Except for mine and Christine's.
Except for the ladies. I will handle the ladies' accounts. No, but actually, so I've been using AdWords for years, and I'm AdWords certified, all that stuff. But one thing I do want to say really quickly about AdWords. Oh, go for it, Christine.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Well, what I was going to say about AdWords is that to use AdWords very effectively, especially if it's a new account or a new campaign. One of the things is that when you first launch the campaign, you actually do have to give yourself a higher daily budget. You also have to give your campaign budget enough money to basically, in a sense, look serious to Google. So what I usually do, like when I was setting up this display campaign, I actually set it for like $50 a day. I set my campaign up through the end of the month just to get some traction rolling. And then I did site targeting as well as direct placement on specific websites. And then I basically looked at it and I watched it like a hawk for the first 24 hours. As soon as it started kicking in and I started to see the CPC rise above 50 cents, then I dialed everything back basically. If you don't do that, like Mark was saying, you can get overrun, go through your budget like that.
I'm interested in knowing if anyone has looked at it from the other perspective, from an AdSense publisher, and what kind of click-through rates they're seeing. Has anybody tested that out?
Well, I think they're going to do very well because because that hover to expand is a curiosity thing. It's kind of like a magnet. Oh, what does this do? So
yeah,
right
I'm thinking this is like a really big opportunity right now to make some money on AdSense if you have, the right sizes, which the AdWords are targeting.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm going to go make some changes to some of my sites after we get off.
There you go.
Do you guys see Nazim's comment? Did you read? Do you want me to read it out?
I'm muted, aren't I? Yeah, please go ahead, Mia. Sorry.
He just said, "Oh," I'm like, "Did you not want me to?"
No, I was talking to myself. I was muted.
I'm with you. He says, "I have to say that on a negative note, when he's used specific advertising, both Facebook and Google AdWords, he ended up getting tons of programmers from India offering consulting as opposed to new business for his web agency." Any comments on that?
I hate the internet.
One might be
targeting issue.
One might be to target better.
Yeah.
Target. If you look at what sites, first of all, if you look in your placements and see what sites those are coming from, and maybe exclude those sites. Also, maybe geo-targeting. That doesn't always catch everything because especially these Indian guys will be using
US IPs,
US sites, yeah.
All the time.
They do that, but at least it'll help quite a bit to do that kind of targeting. So this is one of the things. That's the reason why you have to really manage your budget when you're doing AdWords and be careful and experiment, because it is going to most likely lose money for a while, and you have to be in it for the long haul, which of course makes Google happy because you have to spend a lot of money to start making money. Well, they don't really want you to necessarily lose money, but you have to be prepared to invest to get there, right? That's just the way it is. People like to think it's so much easier than SEO. Man, PPC is hard work. I mean, we had at Stone Temple a PPC practice for a while, and we actually managed accounts that were spending millions of dollars a year, and it's a tremendous amount of work, and it never gets easier. Once you get it set up and tuned, it starts working. Then you got to work hard to maintain it. It just never stops.
The problem is people seem to have a concept that AdWords is almost it's paid leads, but it's not. It's the opportunity to possibly get leads. It's you're simply being put in on the screen. I mean, the rest of the work you have to do yourself.
Yes.
What I think will be really interesting about Plus Post Ads is that, you know, when we look at advertising, just native display advertising, companies look at return on investment, the ROI. So if I'm going to spend $100, then I need to make, you know, at least, say, one sale, you know, if my product is, say, $9.95 a month. What I think is going to be interesting about the Plus posts is that we're going to probably start seeing a metric of return on engagement. Right now, it's not very engaging because a lot of, like you said, Derek, people right now, Google is targeting non-Google Plus users. Actually, it's really a smart play on their part because they're getting people that want to engage on the post have to sign up for a Google Plus account. So it's a really good strategic play. But as the platform continues to grow, and hopefully we'll hear those numbers at I/O, but as the platform even grows over the years, we're going to start. I think we're going to start seeing that return on engagement becoming a little bit more of a key performance indicator. KPI.
Yeah, I think that's good. Nazim also asked on there about. I know this is not a PPC show, an AdWords show, but just to quickly answer his question. He asked about you know, if it's worth it, because he asked his clients, you know, do you click on those ads? And of course, everybody says nope. You know, everybody says nobody clicks on those ads, which is why Google's made no money and went out of business years ago. You know, obviously people are clicking the ads. That's where 95% of Google's money comes from. What we said earlier, the ads, especially the ads that are display. Well, we're talking about display ads here that are on regular websites. The click-through rate is very low. But if you get on sites that get a lot of traffic and a lot of people, you don't need a lot of people to have some volume, to have something significant. And if you do your targeting right, then you know what you're hoping is that you're getting the right people to see it, not necessarily everybody to see it. But yeah, admittedly, the display ad network is a lot tougher than the regular search ad network. But it's, you know, if you know what you're doing with it, it can be worth it, especially I think as a branding play, just keeping your name out there in front of. And there's another whole area that we won't talk about today, don't have time to, but that's become huge, which is remarketing or retargeting, being able to use the display network to, you know, somebody who's come to your site and maybe, you know, looked around a little bit, maybe even put something in the shopping cart, but then they didn't buy for whatever reason. Being able to kind of follow them around the internet and put up display ads when they visit sites, so they kind of get reminded, you know, oh yeah, you know, maybe I did mean to, I should go back and buy that thing.
Oh, Mark, I was trying to keep that a secret.
But also, you said there weren't a lot of +1s or, you know, added engagement on the ads, but hopefully that will change as placement becomes better, as people become better at creating ads, hopefully to engage people. I don't know, you know, to engage those randos. But I lost my train of thought there. But where am I going with this
hey,
one?
this is the Christine and Mia show, so
yes.
Mia, let's jump to this topic.
What would you like to talk about? Maybe
well, Ben wouldn't let you talk.
My brain melted.
Let's bring up some comments, Mia.
Well, I was just kind of laughing how you were saying that, Mark. It just reminds me of almost like that guy in high school, like, hey, remember me? You know, just kind of on your own. You said you like me. That's
I've got a comment from Eileen
Ben.
Smith.
Hey, Ben.
And our buddy Mark Seidel, he said he wants to know if me and you ever rest, Mia.
No.
And we've got Jeff C out there. Hey, Jeff. Says he gets to watch two of his favorite ladies on the Plus, and it's Star Wars Day. So he's happier than a gopher in soft dirt.
That is quotable right there. And hey, speaking of which, let's give each other a Star Wars fist bump, because it really is. It's Star Wars Day, everybody.
You've got a show coming up today, right?
We do, and who's coming on that one? Any of you guys want to come on? Because I know Dustin's coming on after that. Martin Shervington's going to be there. It's going to be a nerd fest. Y'all ready?
Yeah. So Star Wars, May the 4th be with you. Is that?
It is May the 4th be with you. You have to go look and see, because speaking of Jeff C, made the most amazing Star Wars trailer for us, didn't he, Dustin?
Yes, he did. He's extremely talented, and I don't know how he does it, but he
Speaking of slipping, right?
He uses software, Dustin.
Actually, it's magically delicious.
Called Adobe Premiere and After Effects and a crap load of talent.
Well, I thought it was magic because I can literally hear the sound. So, go ahead, Dustin.
I got a question for the panel, and I have a question for everyone watching. If Star Wars characters were on social media, which characters would be on which networks, do you think?
Oh my God, you're such a nerd, and I love you for this question. What's everybody think?
On Plus, I would be.
I will start on that note then.
Tell me Han Solo.
Yoda would be on.
Yeah, name one at a time, and then let's decide where they would be.
Let's start with Han Solo. Come on, back up the tape.
Facebook.
With a real Mackie profile.
He's that ex-football star that still is reliving his football years on Facebook.
See, I think he's on old MySpace. That's where he's at.
Oh yeah, with
Darth Vader. Darth Vader's on Facebook.
With the tagline, scruffy looking.
His Facebook profile made the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. I just want to say, okay?
Who's scruffy looking, right?
So let's talk Princess Leia. Where would Princess Leia be, you think? Is she a Facebooker too?
Twitter.
Twitter.
Or maybe Pinterest.
She would be
She's a girl.
with little hairstyles on the. I used to look like my retro hair bun, and now
putting a picture of the Ewok.
It does have to be on Instagram as well.
Yeah.
Oh, she would definitely be an Instagram girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then Twitter, because she'd want to share it on Twitter too. So there you go.
Right. Which you can do from Instagram. Actually, you can do Facebook and Twitter.
Exactly.
From Instagram. You know, Subi's taught us all that.
Exactly.
I think she'd get around. I think she'd get around on social media.
Oh, there you go. That's a good phrase for her.
I'm gonna jump to one.
Put on social media.
I'm gonna jump to one. Luke Skywalker would be on Secret, whining about how he never gets to do anything, never gets to go anywhere.
Yeah. And telling people that he kissed his sister and he liked it.
Actually, wouldn't Luke actually kind of be still back on MySpace, maybe?
Right.
Yes, and he would be saying he's going to Hitachi Station to pick up some power converters. That's what he'd be saying. Yeah. There you go.
Well, that post would be on Reddit.
That would. How about Yoda?
Yeah.
Oh, Twitter.
Yoda, I think Twitter.
We haven't said
His
Google
wisdom.
Plus for anybody yet.
I was thinking Google Plus.
I would say
Yeah.
Plus.
He
Yeah.
would be on Google Plus writing posts like David Amerland's Sunday Read.
Exactly.
But he's so short when he speaks. He's so short. He's ideal for Twitter.
Well, no, he's ideal for Hangouts because come on, I mean we don't have legs, right? So he could be like, you know.
Yeah, he's the same size as everybody in it.
Oh, there you go.
Exactly.
Amen.
It's the great equalizer.
All right, so Nazim has a great question. Darth Vader.
Oh.
Which
Darth
social
Vader
network?
would definitely be on Google Plus.
No, he would be
Actually-
running Facebook.
You guys, Darth Vader would be the ultimate troll. That's what Darth Vader would be.
Yeah, Eileen Smith says Google.
Yeah,
Plus
I think
for Darth Vader.
Darth Vader would be on YouTube actually.
I like
No,
Elaine
just think
Smith.
about it this way.
What was that one?
Just look at it this way. Take a look at his personality. Number one, he has a superiority complex, so that's optimal for Google Plus and Android users.
Ouch.
He also likes to do speeches, so Google Plus just suits him for making those long speeches.
I don't think he'd have a social media account. I think he'd be hanging out at the NSA offices, reading all of ours.
Exactly. Trolling.
I think he would at least have a Facebook account where he could private message, Luke, and because you got to think about that moment. I am your father.
Dustin, you said the word.
Facebook.
Dustin, you said Android, and I have to say it. I was using iPhone for 4 years, and I just got a GS5, and oh my God, I don't know what I've been doing without
Why don't you
this.
fist bump me that one then?
We all know that R2D2 and C3PO would be on Android. That's no brainer, right?
That's a natural fit.
So they're on Google Plus automatically. They have no choice.
Did you see Eileen's comment? Han Solo might be on Snapchat.
Yeah,
But,
I believe that.
Yeah, he would definitely be on Snapchat.
Now, I think the LinkedIn boss of the entire franchise would definitely be Lando Calrissian. I think he would be a LinkedIn guy.
He would be
He'd be
LinkedIn.
all over.
Lando
He'd
has
be the
asked
one
you to connect.
He'd be jumping into the publishing platform that LinkedIn has and writing all kinds of stuff.
Jar Jar would be on Facebook, according to Jeff C.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
I think the Ewoks would be really huge into Snapchat. That's what I think.
I think so too. And Instagram.
But where do you think,
Yes.
Dustin, where do you think Chewbacca would land at? I mean, what's his favorite?
Chewbacca?
Yeah.
Chewbacca would be on YouTube a lot.
Yeah.
Or the new MySpace. New MySpace.
Yes.
Well, he already is on YouTube. Haven't you seen all of the Sasquatch sighting videos on YouTube?
Right, exactly. But see, additionally, the comments, the old YouTube, the comments didn't really need to make any sense. So, I mean, he would fit right in there on YouTube.
Now, I just got to have to tell you guys, I have been following Peter Mayhew on Twitter because he's pretty active over there. So you might want to come nerd out with me. He was Chewbacca, so he's pretty big on Twitter for reals. I had to say for reals, so you know that I really meant it.
Not for play.
Not for
Not
play.
for play.
Exactly.
So, Mia, what
Yes.
is your favorite social network other than Google?
Google.
Other than Google+.
I know, it's Google. I have to say Facebook. I said the F word. That's right. It still serves its purpose for me. It's very funny to go back over and watch what resonates with people. I get some things that I post, and it's usually honestly kind of me with that Mickey Mouse hand. That went over real big on Facebook last week. So, but it's interesting. I still give it a little bit of love. So I'd say Facebook.
No, that's quite all right. We can show the occasional Facebook love over here because
You can mock me to my
about
face
Google+.
and behind my back. That's right.
How about you, Christine? Do you have any others than Google+?
I guess Twitter definitely would be Twitter second.
Who do you follow over there?
People from Google+.
Touche.
So Christine, that means you work only on dying social networks then.
That's right.
Which, by the way, we all know, like we were talking about in the green room, Andrew is single-handedly destroying Google+, Twitter, and actually the world.
Yes.
Honestly, yeah, I almost quit Twitter, and then I said, you know what, I'll start following some Google+ people, and then I'll like it again, and that's worked. And I'm considering, if I do log into Facebook again, then I'm going to find my Google+ friends, and maybe I'll like Facebook again.
I like following Gary Vaynerchuk on Twitter. There you go. Dustin, you're still looking for a fight with him, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay.
Still looking for a jumping in the ring with the Vaynerchuk.
But again, I really would like to see it with those big fake sumo suits. The big poofy ones, and you two just go at each other. I think that would be quite fun to see.
He'd have Snapchat written across his big old belly, and I'd have Google+ across mine, and
Actually, and then he would have Google Plus's dead printed on his behind, because you know how have you seen the boxers and they've just got ads all over their shorts? That's what Gary Vaynerchuk would have. Google Plus is dead.
And I would actually sell my behind. So
You will or will not? What was that?
I would
Okay.
definitely do that.
So I did want to mention. So what we're talking about. I of course am not killing Google because Google is not dying. But I do want to say a public on-air apology to Christine DeGraff because I gave her a very hard time a few months back or a few weeks back. I don't even remember time.
It's been a few months.
A few months back. But I latched on to a few comments someone else had made, and I took them as fact, and they were not. And I spent some time ripping on her, and that was very unfair of me. And I wanted to apologize to her on air here.
I didn't have to do that. We're all friends now.
Let's do real
Good
clapping.
job, man. Good job.
But no, it's she. I
Yeah,
didn't
he
block
trolled
or
me
anything.
bad.
Yeah, I did a little bit.
I don't know. You got some good punches in there too, Christine. I watched that whole show. That was good.
That was fun.
I think it could have been a reality show.
No, but it's funny. I actually some of my best relationships have actually come out of these like screaming matches online, and because we find out we're both just passionate. That's we're both passionate users, and Christine obviously knows what she's talking about. So once I started paying attention to her posts and what she was saying, I had to listen.
I have to tell you, I had to hold Mia back. I showed her that post, and she's like, "Let me at him, let me at him." I'm like,
I'm
no,
kind of known for that.
Oh, she would have destroyed me. Yeah.
My favorite line for anybody who's getting feisty is I just do #LightenUpFrancis. That seems to work for a lot of people. Lighten up, Francis. It's all good.
So Andrew, are we going to have you apologize to everybody you ever attacked on Google Plus? Or
You have an hour.
wait,
I know
there's
it's actually a
11 hours
12-step
left.
program for Andrew.
Whoa!
There's an 8-hour limit on these Hangouts, isn't there?
Yeah,
Let's get we got Chris Voss.
He's keeping it real.
Oh, Chris Voss.
Chris Voss.
There's a show.
He thinks I'm Hitler.
He does?
Oh
now,
yeah.
I only see him on. I see him on. Of course, I had to pay attention to him because of the last name. Come on, but why? What's with you two? The other Voss.
He was just sharing one of his affiliate links into the community, and I moderated him, and he decided to call me Hitler out of the blue because I moderated his purely self-promotional spammy post in a community, which he didn't interact with at all. So clearly, he's a marketing expert.
That thing actually went on for like 2 threads, and I think there was about 300-400 comments total, something like that.
People started.
He called me in
it.
at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it went on for probably 3 hours at least.
We were having fun with him by that point. Yeah.
You're poking the bear.
Yeah, I love to poke the bear.
It is fun. I do. I had that post. When I included you from my show, and you're like, "This looks like circles." I'm like, "Pump your brakes now, come on." But you remember that post a couple weeks ago? I'm like, I know what you're saying, but it's not.
I keep trying to think like, I have to clean up my act, not make waves. But then all the time I get messages from people like, "Thank you so much for just being yourself."
Yep.
That's.
I'm with you on that, sweetie. That authenticity. It can shake people up, but it works.
I mean, if I scare away
I will say one thing though, Andrew, and this is I think is true.
Coffee.
Yeah, sometimes those things are best actually brought to a more private forum.
True.
Yes.
Versus
sometimes I sink in the teeth and I don't let go. Yeah.
This is a very passionate network, I have to say that. I have not seen so much passion, for sure. I appreciate it.
What I like that the most about it, it's Facebook just seems like, at least to me, from what I've seen from I also have my Facebook following is all just people I knew from high school and from college. It's not, my closest friends are on there too, but even they have already moved on. They're on other networks. They're doing, they're just doing real life. They're not sharing on Facebook as much, but it's a lot of just empty. I don't know. I found like people just like because they see a marriage notification, not because of who actually it is. I don't know. That's just me.
Okay, so who's best at educating somebody on Google Plus in a thread? Dustin Stout, Mark Tarphagen, or Andrew? Out of the 3, everybody vote.
What are we voting for?
Benjamin Fisher.
Mark, Dustin, or Andrew?
Definitely Mark or Dustin.
No, what are we voting for? Not who.
I think who gives the best smackdown is what I'm gonna put it into a one sentence.
Smackdown in a thread, because you guys do a great job. Mark, you come at it with like pure logic. Dustin, if somebody has a bad logo, you go straight after them.
Well, I tend to use a lot of sarcasm, which I do believe is not the best way of going about it, but.
Oh, I beg to differ. I love sarcasm. I love it when you get cray-cray.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I do like the way Mark does it. Mark does it the most politically, definitely, because he just lays out the facts. But you do it, and you have that like slight passive-aggressive hint to it at times that I really enjoy. It's nice.
A good topic because it's something that I am trying to watch these days. I will still do it. I will still get into it. I'll still try to lay out the logical argument if I think I have one. But I have that. I've said this before. I have that side to myself that I know that I'm aware of. That's like somebody's wrong on the internet. Somebody's wrong on the internet. Up at 2 a.m. And you can't correct everything. You can't put out every fire.
You can't cure stupid with a comment.
Yeah, right. And there's David Amelin had, on the serious side, David Amelin, his Sunday Read today was on empathy, and it's a very powerful thing, and part of that is discussion comes up. Is that something that just you have or you don't, or can you develop it? We know people with autism struggle because it's one of the characteristics of autism is that you don't have empathy, or to the same degree as most people do. But in terms of what we do, I think developing that ability to try to hear where the other person is coming from. And I'm not talking about the extremes. I'm not talking about somebody's obviously just trying to be a jerk or trying to spam. But when you get into a debate on something, trying to that old thing of would the person recognize the way I'm characterizing their argument as the way that they would put it. I'm saying this, and I'm convicting myself because I still don't do it often enough. But just a thought on that.
No, it's true. Studies have shown that when you come at someone argumentatively, they will be much more likely to reject your opinion, no matter what the logic, no matter what steps you take them through. You need to come at them more sanely, and I've been working on that too. I'd say from the Christine times, I've dialed it back a good 60% or so. I still see. If you saw my my post recently, right? I still from time to time slip back, but it's only
like, now wait a second.
It's only for the MLM scammers and the people who seem to get personally offended when we moderate their post for the first time, or say, I've gotten a lot of people who they'll post link litter, and then all I'll put is a link to the policy because they posted just a link to their content. I'm just going to post a link to our rules. I feel that's fair, tit for tat. They don't deserve a letter, 10 minutes of my time. But, so then they'll write back, all annoyed, like, how dare you just, like, you can't say, like, why it was moderated. You have to just link something to me. How rude. And I just turn around, like, how you just, but I
can't win.
I have a total I'm like, I have a live and let live policy, and, I just don't think I let things bother me as much as some people do. It's like, I see people, if they're spammers or whatever, if they're not bothering me, it doesn't really bother me, It's but I know some people, like, it's kind of like, you're doing it wrong, and it gets them upset, and, I just totally don't, it's like, okay, they're doing it maybe different than I would, but, who am I to say it's wrong, or why should I care if they're doing it differently?
I think I said this to you yesterday, Andrew, when we were chatting. But I'm learning to the way that I comfort myself, because I have sort of that stop doing it wrong, or stop polluting the community. Stop being an idiot. But what I've been trying to comfort myself with is, look, if the more people there are out there doing it like that it upsets me, the better I tend to look. So
true.
See,
that's kind of my woosah. My woosah.
That is a woosah.
The only line I have to draw a line though. There's a point. If it's from mom and pop, if it's from some guy who just started using social media for the first time, I will help. I will walk them through it. But it's the people that are sitting there calling themselves marketing experts. I mean, every single one of us has had a client who has been scammed by a marketing expert.
Yep.
And it's unbelievable the amount of money that we've seen companies lose on this, and business. I'm sure places have gone out of business because of this. So that's why I do get a little passionate. But you're right, Christine. Sometimes I have to live and let live, and I have this. I'm like a graph, and I'll just get agitated, and then it hits this level of absurdity, and I start laughing at it. But then I start poking fun at the guy, so I keep raising it up a little more. But
You're poking the bear, Andrew.
right.
again.
I need to stop it a little lower.
To Mark's point, really quickly, I just want to get this out. Is that I totally agree with that. And David's post today was, I mean, it was a really beautiful post about empathy and just about how humans relate to it. And relate to each other, and even animals, show empathy with each other anyways. But, and David and I have discussed this before in the past, but it's like there's almost like a shift in marketing and shift in almost consciousness that people are becoming more empathetic with each other. And even from a marketing standpoint, brands are as well. And as a community, just to bring it back to community really quickly, at least when I do my moderating, I try to put myself in the shoes of the person who is doing the link littering. And I understand why they're doing it. I mean, I've been there myself, and that is that you have a job to do. You have a marketing function to do. And it might be simply that you're just looking to get traffic, And yeah, you're going about it in the wrong way. And if you can step into that person's shoes and understand that, and then convey your message to them privately, not in a public forum, but privately, then if that person has a little bit of rationale and logic, then they might come back and actually learn from that experience. If they don't, then we just send Andrew after them.
I've had to say it more than twice this week on different threads on events of like, please take this private, because it just becomes distracting if it's on an event thread and people are starting to argue. I'm like, please take this to by the bike racks at 3 o'clock or whatever it is you need to do.
Take it outside, fellas.
Take it outside. But real quick point back to what Christine was saying, I was laughing at somebody a couple weeks ago, and again, I love that the live and let live, and somebody had gotten so aggro about, they're like, please stop posting inspirational posts and cat gifs, and I was so tempted to take a picture of my 3-legged cat, Bob Voss, and put an inspirational quote, a moving gif, and post it just because I thought it was so funny how aggro he got about those kind of posts. So it's fun to mess with those kind of people.
The funniest thing to me is when people complain about what you post. Like, oh, why are you posting this? You should be posting this.
I am so not democratic about that.
This stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Except if it's rolling circle shares. You're not allowed to post those. No.
Yeah. My line is my page is not a democracy. Like, I'm going to post what I want.
It's a meocracy.
It's a meocracy.
Something Mia was saying that I wanted to touch back on. You're definitely right. I've done extensive testing on the subject, and when you see an argument in a post thread, it kills the conversation effectively. I mean, because you can't. It's really hard to swing it back around. I've seen that. Sorry if it happens on your thread. It didn't. I'm working on it, but
what's really helpful actually is when you have a show. If you've got a rented curmudgeon in the monitoring the event comments, for the DME show and the DMA show, it's always M and John's. Like when someone starts like doing something in our threads that doesn't belong, he'll patiently answer them once, and then he'll answer them twice, and then when they continue, it gets actually kind of entertaining to see what he does. He doesn't quite go Andrew with it, but he actually does try to guide them first, and then when they won't go, he takes it that next step. So,
where's the job application for the rented curmudgeon? Because I think that sounds awesome.
Well,
that's a new hashtag. Don't go Andrew with it.
Don't go Andrew with it. Yes.
Oh my goodness. That is real. That's a great phrase.
Wow. So I guess that's a good point to finish out the broadcast today. I mean, we have 4 minutes left. If we can have some final thoughts, some key takeaways today, Mia. What did you learn today?
I'm still on rented curmudgeon. I think that's awesome. I think I do think it's the live and let live. We all have our message. So just a little bit more patience. That's it. You like that?
Yeah, I like that.
Say it in a Yoda voice. Patience you must have. How's that?
Perfect. Christine?
And another thing is, besides the live and let live and patience is, some of my best relationships came out of, starting out not so good. Just like with Andrew, and, I totally accept your apology. And, I'm at fault a lot, too, and I can instigate a little bit.
She knows not to call me to get her to calm her down. That never works.
But yeah, I think that we just all need to realize that we're all here for our, our own reasons, and some people might do things differently, and we just need to, respect that.
So in the nature of goodliness, if there is anyone that's watching this video that sees it, and are you banned, blocked, removed from any of the social media communities, please send me or any one of the panel here, well, not me or Christine because they're technically not moderators, but any one of the community moderators or owners a message, and we'll invite you back in. There's no sense, you can't have a second chance. We do get a little ban happy sometimes, keeping it clean, but we want everyone to be in there. So
this is a limited time offer and may not be available in all states.
Roast on the mic. That's what he
Oh, God, that's awesome.
Thank you, and goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.